Foley from Benjamin.
Thank you. Hey! First of all, I want to express my deep admiration for the warriors of the Aboriginal resistance. It says to me that the future is in good hands. I may not be here next year. This is my bodyguard, Tony Birch. I may not make it through till next year. I'm getting old and I can't see anymore. So if people walk up to me today and say good day to me and I ignore them, it's only because I can't see people's faces. You've got to tell me who you are and I'll be right. But as a professor of history in my old age, I'll give you a little bit of a short history lesson on this day. As somebody's already said, this is the day that represents the beginning of the invasion and occupation of our homelands by the brutal settler colonial British.
They say you can go for a bit longer because it's a little bit early.
100 years later, in 1888, this still was not Australia. It was still just a bunch of British colonies occupying our land. But 50 years after that, in 1938, it was now Australia. Australia became Australia, let's not forget, for the purpose, the primary purpose of keeping all black, yellow and brown people out of this country. That's why the first act of the first Parliament of Australia was the notorious Immigration Restriction Act of 1901, better known as the White Australia Policy. In 1938, by then, they decided in New South Wales to have some big sort of bullshit celebration of this thing they were going to call Australia Day. But in 1938, the Aboriginal people were already starting to get fully organised. In 1938, from Victoria came a group represented by the Australian Aborigines League who joined forces with a group in New South Wales called the Aborigines Protection Association to form a protest against the big celebration in 1938. And William Cooper declared the 26th of January in 1938 as a day of mourning and invasion day. Ever since 1938, Aboriginal people have gathered like this, albeit originally in smaller numbers than this fantastic effort, but nevertheless, every year on Invasion Day, Aboriginal people have protested ever since. And fast forward another 50 years to 1988. This was the occasion of the bicentennial, and the Australian government, led by that scumbag Bob Hawke, who wanted to be the hero of Australia Day 1988, put millions of Australian government money into organising what they called the Great Celebration of the Nation, which made it easy for us back then to declare it the Great Masturbation of the Nation. And on that day in 1988, we saw the biggest gathering of Aboriginal people in Australian history, when more than 500,000 people from all over Australia, Aboriginal people, came from all parts of Australia to Sydney to march and rally in Hyde Park. And on that day in Hyde Park, in front of an audience that looked like this, I said these very words: "We have survived!" at this crowd today, and having been here for the last 3 or 4 years, as I said at the beginning, I'm deeply proud of the warriors of the Aboriginal resistance who can organise a day like this with a crowd like this. I've been coming to rallies like this since I was 16 years old in 1966. I'm now 76 years old. I may not make it till next year, but like I said, I know that the future is in good hands. And congratulations to all the people who've turned up today. Thank you very much.